Hello everyone, KingslayerKoshy here, and welcome back to Bastion. In the last part we did things, and in this part we're gonna do Zulf's dream sequence.
Zulf had
Okay, in the last part we actually fought against the got ourselves the final weapon in the game, which is a giant fuck you cannon, and rescued Zia from the clutches of the Ura. And by rescue I mean she actually tried to reason with them. And then they try to kill her. Go figure. And for this dream sequence, this is going to be the last set of enemies that we have to face, so expect a lot of Ura, Rattletails, I think a couple of lunkheads will be in the mix. But yeah. And this will be pretty much a precursor of what's to come, dealing with the frigging
they met on the
Ura, because the thing is, when you're fighting one Ura, it's not bad. But when they're stacked, they can be a nuisance. Also, I hate Rattletails. I think throughout the course of the level I'm playing a dangerous. Here we go. Throughout the course of the dream sequence for a couple of levels, I started playing this dangerous game where essentially, excuse me, with the Whiskey in tow, I pretty much play this dangerous game of being at low health while trying to kill as much as I can before I die. Because the thing with the Whiskey is, if you're at low enough health, it increases your critical hit percentage up to 100%. So if you're good enough at dodging, you can pretty much make mincemeat of a lot of enemies in the blink of an eye. So as you can see, like, every single hit I do is a critical hit, and it pretty much just makes mincemeat of enemies. And I do this for quite a bit of the dream sequence, making this a lot easier and go by a lot faster than it probably would have. As you can see, even against the Ura, it just takes 2 good hits to knock them dead. One and then 2.
That missionary raised Zulf like a gentleman, like he was his own son. Taught him theology, history, and mercy.
He even kills the little Rattletails. Although unfortunately, I think this is where I first die. But anyways, as we're paying attention, this is just essentially the story of how Zulf essentially became a mercenary, how he started child as an orphan and started pretty much becoming a bandit, stealing from a talented mercenary, and eventually he was taken in by him to eventually preach the idea for peace between Calamity and the Ura. That's pretty much the whole gist of his story.
Zulf promised to continue his work to bring about a lasting peace between the Ura and Caelondia.
Yeah, you can see this were-whiskey. If you're good at dodging, this were-whiskey can really take you far.
And listen they did.
I corrected. Yeah, this is where I had to throw my first what is it? Potion, because of the frigging these are probably the most obnoxious turrets in the game because you can't counter them. All I do is throw a straight beam, which it's not that it's hard to dodge, but it just makes them kind of annoying because you can't counter them like all the other turrets. And then I gotta deal with fighting these assholes. These stupid gourds. There's Stink Eye. Stink Eye generators. At this point, I just decided to play recklessly because screw it. Because this is where I'd like to have the were-whiskey just to deal with these things faster. Because these things are just annoying and they take forever to kill. Close to one, come on. Just a little bit more. A little bit more, come on, come on. There we go. And as you kill those, the Stink Guys just go up on their own.
Should atone for the war. He believed the city had much to teach his people.
And it's at this point where you'll start to see just how bad dealing with more than one era can be. Even just one more, even if it's just two era, they can ruin you fast.
However, Zulf felt he could only do so much in the Tassel terminals. He needed Caelondia to know the era had changed.
Snares are a very effective tool to use against the era as well. Although there are some era that aren't affected by the snare. A good chunk of them are, but I think the melee ones are one of the few that actually get stuck in it. They don't actually have the smart to actually, try and cut out of it, but that's beside the point.
He left the city of his youth to brave a savage land.
And this is how bad freaking an apocalypse of enemies can be. Just friggin' rattletails, man. And also there's the Trapper's Nail failing to actually catch anything. And then this bullshit freaking turret decides to pop in out of nowhere and just kill me. And I say bullshit because it's like, you have all these and friggin' rattletails, and out of nowhere you just have this random turret just popping out of nowhere. And it's only two of them. So yeah, I got killed by
The journey was
bullshit.
hard,
I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't even see that turret.
and then at last,
But yeah,
Zulf
that's
saw the rippling walls on
a
the
combination that can ruin your day if you had no idea, if you don't know how to deal with it. Also, another thing you can take advantage of is, as you can see, I'm using the musket double shot, and also throughout a couple of these sequences, I'm using the double musket shot when enemies are near the edge to shoot them and throw them off, so I don't have to deal with them. Because the thing is, they won't take damage if they have Garmith on them. However, they will.
Don't worry about it.
Still deal with the knockback.
He endeared himself.
So use that, and there's me getting, and you probably saw me getting owned by a frigging
people.
What is it? With snipers. There's so many of these goddamn rattletails. I hate them. I mean, look at this. I can't even tell which one's the rattletail and which one's the frigging like, this is gonna be really difficult to see, like, what's the rattletail and what's what's the rocks that are falling from the sky. Or at least it's kind of hard to see on my screen because I'm recording it from a very small angle, from a very small screen. And there's no way for me to, I don't know if I can max the window out or something, but yeah, just for whatever. There is this sit bot, but it's just that the fact that they're throwing so many freaking rocks at us is just so freaking annoying. It's so goddamn annoying, but I guess one little trick. I guess now that the werewolf gets kicked in, I can actually kill him faster.
He was fascinated by the Ura, but she never met anyone like Zulf. She told him she knew all the city's best kept secrets.
And this is the one I was referring to. This is the Ura that I was actually commenting on. There's a couple of different Uras that are ranged. There's the ones with the shotguns. There's the one with the rapid fire crossbow. And then there's these ones. They shoot one round, but it's a poison round. And it drains your life real. It drains a good chunk of your life as well. If you're good, you can reflect it off to other enemies, or hide behind other enemies to deal damage. And just have him do some of the work for you. And here's a giant lunkhead. Really nothing special. He's the only enemy. Just make sure you keep putting your make sure you stay out of his range of his hitbox, because it's a lot bigger than you would think. But for some reason, like, even when he's in the air, he still hurts you. I don't understand why.
Never seen. Too bad he couldn't remember it all.
Like, that's something that's really annoying. It's not like he's freaking like doing a jump kick or something. And, you know, whatever. So yeah, there's what I'm playing off. As you can see with the trapper snare, you can actually trap enemies there. And the melee ones won't be able to do any damage. Unfortunately though, all the ranged fighters can actually still shoot at you, which is really annoying. So do take that into consideration.
He woke up alone underground inside the Ura-Celandian War Memorial, built like an Uraden. But something was wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm just killing the rattletails first, because you gotta deal with rattletails and stink eye generators, and between the two, the rattletails are gonna make it a real pain in the ass to fight, destroy the whatever the hell these things are, because you gotta deal with a stink eye generator and a freaking rattletail shooting rocks at you, which is not fun at all. And I think here I try to I'm pretty much just moving up, MacGyvering through the stage and using the Were Whiskey effect to my advantage, trying to avoid the rattletails as best as I can. If you're good, you can just use the Were Whiskey to your advantage, but do take the heart that. So if you can't do it, focus on the rattletails first and then go after these stink eye generators. The reason I did it this way is because, just for the sake of time, because, like I said, these stink eye generators take a lot of punishment. So I'm just gonna keep stabbing, and eventually they should die. There you go. That...
He emerged from that hole in the ground into a waking nightmare. Everything that wasn't gone.
I believe
was
it's...
twisted upside down.
Alright, we still got a couple more. I don't know, like, the way that some of these, what is it, dream sequences work, it feels like that some of these, challenges are a lot... The challenges are definitely, the difficulty is, shifting. There are some rounds that I feel that are a lot tougher than this one. This is actually, despite this being near the end, this is actually one of the easier rounds. As you're fighting against giant stink eyes, and this is where one of the places where trappers near shine. So I'm just MacGyvering around. I'm just using the trapper snare combo with my to freely stab him with my pike.
The world was frozen, air thick with ash. What few faces he saw on the street stared back at him with gray and vacant eyes.
Yeah, and all that's here is just a bunch of these laser turrets. And these things are super easy to dodge. So as long as you take it one at a time, you'll be fine. Like really, there's this really huge shift in the dream sequence. As you get to the end, it gets a lot easier. The only what is it? The only sequence that's at, like, the only like the very last one is probably the hardest of, like, as you get to the end.
He found his wife-to-be asleep inside her home, but when he reached out to her, she joined with all the ashes in the sky.
I think this last one will show the last. Yeah, this is the that I was referring to. Jesus Christ, it's got the machine gun. Yeah, you've got to fight, this last round, however, is really annoying because you got to fight a special, batch of Ura. And it's a real pain in the ass. Fortunately, one thing you can't take advantage of is trying to make cheap shots using the pike. And here's me using the pike again to reach out, and I do finish it on this run. It just takes a while for me to actually finish, because these are the last two I have to deal with. And he's got the arrow in a really uncomfortable position. Okay, now that he's gone, that's pretty much done here, so just one shot, wait for him to shoot, and you just keep doing it. The reason I'm only doing one shot is because there's the chance that he can still move over,
so Zulf returned the way
like move swiftly.
Gardens, and there he stood, as if the gods.
But that's really, but with that being said, that's all that this reflection has to offer. It's pretty easy at this point in time. But yeah, that's the last dream sequence that the main game's gonna offer. But now, after I feel like upgrading something,
good thing I didn't throw away the manual.
Next part, we're gonna be dealing with the last stage in the game, the Tassel Terminals, and it'll pretty much be the I don't want to say the finale, but it's going to be the last part of the main game.
Can't be too careful these days.
As I fall off. Fortunately, you can't take damage here, but yeah, we're off to the Tassel Terminals to finish up the story.
All that's left of the Earth civilization, and the last
I'll see you guys
stop on this
then.
little journey.